Hey traders, Raghee here, and in this recap video we're going to cover a market that I've been wanting a piece of for a very long time. I'm going to walk through the setup and scenario in RBOB gas. And by the way, for those of you that want to play this in an alternative way, think about the analysis that I'm doing here and how it would apply to the UGA ETF. Now, a lot of the Simpler Futures members like to trade some of the ETFs and even the options in those ETFs when there is a setup in the underlying futures contract that we have right now in gas. Now, one of the things to remember about gas is that we are in the summer seasonal. So when I say summer seasonal, this is the summer driving seasonal, and I like looking at really some very, very basic seasonal. Oh, this is a book that I recommended in the chat room today. I did get an advanced copy, and it's really a really interesting book about risk. There's another really good book about risk written by Nassim Taleb called Skin in the Game. I thought this one was a really nice light read, very well done. Anyways, let's talk about the seasonals. So if I'm taking a look at the seasonals for gas, and you can see it right here, what I'm talking about is a seasonal that takes the market from the lows, as you can see here, starting in mid-February, and the summer driving season you'll hear get discussed, kind of through here, kind of through March, through May, June, July. But by the time we start hearing about it, the bulk of the move is already done. So here, through March, into April, even into May, this is that sweet spot right through here for this particular trade. So yeah, I'm kind of in hot pursuit for getting a piece of this long trade. Now, it is never the seasonal alone that will trigger a trade. The seasonal rally has to also be happening as I'm getting bullish signals, preferably some sort of trending signal from the underlying market on the price chart, right? So it's not just the summer seasonal means buy, but when I get that seasonal plus a trend, that's going to equal our buy setup, right? So that's really what I'm looking for. Now, one of the things that's happened is that along with the uptrend in crude, we've seen that RBOB gas has been moving sharply higher with very few corrections. I mean, very few. That was the only one that came down to the 13 EMA, and we've just really seen nothing since. So today's candle represents a pretty big move to the downside relative to what we've seen, and it's getting relatively close to the 13 EMA right here, which is represented by the simpler propulsion tool, which is a combination of an 813 EMA cross plus interaction with price, and it plots where the 13 EMA would be. That's the yellow dot I'm looking at right there. And so when I have a series of them, that validates that level as being an entry on a pullback. So I'm keeping that level in mind. So put this on your radar, put UGA on your radar, and also look for this pullback to be a correction that we can buy into and play the continued upside. Remember, we have in our mind February, March, April into mid-May, almost June. So that's going to be the window I think is still very much open. Remember, we also have the OPEC meeting next month, and I do not want to be short crude oil, gas, or any of the derivatives of crude going into that mid-April meeting. I think we're going to see OPEC continue with the production cuts, maybe open the door to even more. We're going to see high compliance reported from OPEC, and I think this is going to continue to be a bullish environment. Part of the reflation trade, by the way, that Jerome Powell kicked off on January 4, this is all part of that narrative. And so we have oil stocks that are moving with this as well. I'll talk about crude, oil stocks, and gas a little bit more in the premium video, but put this on the radar, gang. This is going to be a really good trade. We're finally getting a decent pullback. Keep an eye on it. I'll see you in the next update.